Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, it's July in South Carolina, and people are flocking in from all over the country to vacation. And I'll tell you something, that one of the most profound disappointments in life is when you go to a McDonald's or other fast food establishment and you want to get a cold ice cream, an ice-a-cream on a hot summer day, and your hopes and your dreams are dashed because the machine is broken. Who, and I know this is kind of out of order, but who here has experienced that? Show of hands. Pretty much everybody, unanimously, right? And so you're disappointed because it's hot, and you assume one of two things. You assume that the employees don't want to make the ice cream, or you assume that the franchisee doesn't want to provide that because of something. But in reality, according to Mr. Wiens, your op-ed, it goes much deeper than that. There's 1201 section issues that pertain to this on who can fix the machine so that customers like me can get that great Frosty from Wendy's or McFlurry from McDonald's. Real quickly, Mr. Wiens, just, you know, and Mr. Chairman, with unanimous consent, I'd like to enter into the record Mr. Wiens' op-ed, "Congress is preventing us from fixing McDonald's ice cream machines."
Without objection, so ordered.
But I think it's really important, and Mr. Fix-It, if you can you elaborate on how current restrictions on the right to repair affect the average consumer, in particularly touch on the cost and the convenience for the consumer?
Well, first let me say it's not the poor McDonald's employee's fault. It's the machine's fault. So these ice cream machines are made by a tailor, and there is an incredibly complex Baroque set of touchscreens you have to go through, and then there's a service password that you have to be able to get past in order to access the settings that really allow you to do what you want. And so in an ideal world, you'd have an entrepreneur who would come along and make a tool to make it easier for McDonald's. Maybe they'd have an app on their phone that they could use to configure and help them diagnose and repair the machine. Unfortunately, the company who made that tool is struggling legally because of all of these challenges. Across the board, if we had innovation outside of the manufacturers and to be able to develop new tools for fixing ice cream machines or anything else, you'd have a whole flowering ecosystem of repair tools. Right now, it doesn't exist. The U.S. is like this black hole where innovation is banned in software repair. I can't, there's all kinds of opportunities I could see. I had a farmer ask me for help fixing his John Deere tractor, and I had to say I can't do that particular repair because it's illegal. I'd love to build a cool app for helping him diagnose and fix his tractor and get back in the field faster. We don't have that marketplace right now. It's like farmers have been forced to use cracked Ukrainian versions of John Deere's diagnostic software.
Right, so it's not, I mean, it's not just ice cream machines. I led off with that, but it's farmers, it's farm equipment, it's iPhones, it's somebody's Xbox, right? I mean, these are all things, in your experience, what are the challenges that these customers and stakeholders face when they're trying to repair their own devices? What are some things that they face?
It's absolutely infuriating if you're, so my friend, farmer in San Luis Obispo, Dave grows all kinds of amazing products. He has a $300,000 John Deere tractor, came to me and said, hey, there's a bad sensor. It's gonna take a week to get that sensor sent out from Indiana, and I need to use the tractor in that time. Will you help me bypass the sensor? I could hypothetically modify the software in the tractor to do that. Practically, I didn't have the legal ability. And so he had to go and rent an expensive tractor for the week. This is impacting people's lives every single day.
Right, so and to pivot a little bit, what role do you see from a federal side, from legislation, and what specific measures do you think might be included in such legislation?
Yeah, so we've seen kind of the solutions being approached from two angles. At the state level, you have states saying, John Deere and other manufacturers, if you have a dealership that has fancy tools, sell those tools to consumers and to independent shops, allow that competition. At the federal level, what we can do is enable a competitive marketplace for those tools. So rather than compelling John Deere to sell the tool, we could say, hey, it's legal for someone, an entrepreneur, to make a competing tool. And you have this in the car market. You can take your car down to AutoZone, you can buy a scan tool, plug it into your car, and it'll decode some of the error messages. Those tools exist in the auto market because we have a standard diagnostic interface on cars that you can access without circumventing a TPM. We don't have that for any other products. So another farmer in my town, he showed me how if he has a transmission go out on a truck, he can fix that. But if he has a transmission go out on his John Deere tractor, he can't. He can physically install the transmission, but he can't program it to make it work. I'd love to be able to make a software tool to enable him to replace his transmission.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you. We now go to Ms. Lofgren for